Shortly after withdrawing from the Battle of Yerbana, forces of the 501st and 212th are notified that Separatist forces have begun laying siege to the Republic capital of Coruscant. Faced with two significant missions, the forces of the 501st are divided into two elements, with the core of the 501st proceeding back to Coruscant to assist in repelling the Separatist assault, while a separate division of the 501st, the 332nd, are sent to Mandalore to liberate the planet from the control of Death Watch under the leadership of Darth Maul. This mission would prove crucial as one of the few opportunities the Jedi and the Republic had to capture the Sith Lord, who may have ties to the person behind the entirety of the Clone Wars. But to open a campaign on Mandalore, Republic forces first had to land on the planet. The objectives of Republic forces in support of Mandalorian loyalist forces would simply be to secure a beachhead on Mandalore and to eventually force out the illegitimate Death Watch government in place on the planet. Meanwhile, the forces of Death Watch under the command of Darth Maul sought simply to repel this Republic invasion and maintain control of Mandalore. The Republic force consisted of 3 Venator-class Star Destroyers, one of which being the Tribunal, under the command of Commander Rex with the advisorship of Ahsoka Tano, along with a large force provided by the Mandalorian loyalists who had been forced off of their homeworld. Meanwhile, the Death Watch forces consisted of numerous Death Watch fighters who were highly skilled in combat. Republic forces deployed LAATs from orbit and began making their way to the surface, supported by a number of gunships provided by the Mandalorian loyalist faction. As these air forces began approaching the capital city, however, they met their first line of resistance. A large array of surface-to-air and air-to-air missiles had been fired at the Republic invasion force. This first volley was mildly effective, managing to take down several LAAT gunships before a response could be played. From these LAATs, Republic forces launched a number of jetpack-laden clone troopers of the 332nd, as well as a number of Mandalorian commandos still loyal to the former Mandalorian government. They were quickly engaged in the air by a flight of Death Watch commandos, all of which were using jetpacks. The end result was a vicious jetpack battle in between both factions amid the descending Republic landing force. In the chaos, a number of LAAT gunships were severely damaged or even taken completely out of action. However, the Loyalist forces were able to quickly overwhelm the Death Watch troopers and force them to fall back to protect the docks around the capital city of Mandalore. With this opening, Republic forces were able to advance towards the landing zone, with Republic jump troopers as well as loyalists of the Mandalorian government able to land at the ends of the docks and secure an initial beachhead, pushing back the Death Watch forces, who quickly found themselves outnumbered and were forced to make a fighting retreat back towards the capital city. This opened a large enough space on the docks for more clone troopers to be landed, and soon a large Republic infantry force was on the ground on Mandalore. It didn't take long for Republic forces to secure the docks themselves, and soon they had a large enough landing zone to begin landing heavy armor, most notably ATTEs, to support their advances. With this now firm beachhead, Republic forces began advancing deeper and deeper into the capital city. All across the city, Death Watch commando units did the best they could to hold off the advancing Republic forces, but isolated pockets of Death Watch commandos quickly found themselves surrounded by the advancing troops of the Galactic Republic. This led to a number of small last stands for individual units of Death Watch commandos, but would ultimately culminate in Almec, the current leader of Mandalore, who supported Death Watch, ordering the remaining Death Watch forces to retreat into the Undercity where they could plan a counterattack. Before he could join them, however, he was captured as the forces of the Mandalorian loyalists stormed his chambers and took him captive. With Almec in custody and the docks under the control of the Republic, with clone troopers surging through the city, the first phase of the Siege of Mandalore ended quickly with a Republic victory, with Republic forces having secured a beachhead and taken control of the upper elements of the city. However, Death Watch forces were not done yet. They had retreated into the lower elements of the city and were preparing for their own counterattack. All in all, though, these opening phases of the Siege of Mandalore saw momentous Republic victories, with Death Watch quickly forced into hiding. The Republic forces involved in this battle were almost entirely of the newly created 332nd Division of the Grand Army of the Republic, under the umbrella of the 501st. If you'd like to learn about the specifics about who the 332nd was, I'll leave a link in the upper right-hand corner to my video breaking down the history and brief life of the 332nd Infantry Division. And if you have any other battles you'd like to see covered in future episodes of Battle Analysis and added to the archive, you can let me know down below in the comments. Last but not least, if you enjoyed this video, head down below, hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell icon so you get notified when I upload new videos. So for Sci-Fi Deep Dive, I'm Colin, and I will see you next time.